Hey everybody, it's Pixelated Pat, and I'm back with another episode of our Pokemon Crystal Randomizer Hardcore Nuzlocke. Today in the agenda, we will be taking on all the events of Ecruteak City, and I must say, I was beyond excited for my first recording session following that nasty sickness. I had a feeling I was going to have to be locked in for Ecruteak, and I cannot wait to show you some of the battles we experienced here. As you can see, we evolved Birdman and did some off-screen grinding, so I was feeling ready for anything, and ready for anything you must be in a randomizer. Now that we got that out of the way, it's time we take on Ecruteak City. After finishing the obligatory look through our team, we make our way up to the Burn Tower so we can get our encounter and get Rival 3 out of the way. After being harassed by the Suicune obsessed furry, we go for the encounter and are blessed with none other than a Charmander. Due to the fact that we have been sorely lacking in the fire type department, I knew I had to make it mine no matter what. Knowing it would be difficult without Paulina on hand, I took the risk of sending in Magnemite to lower its health with Tackle before sending in Laxus to tank all its attacks. After going through 5 throws, we managed to catch it on the 6th throw and add Charlie to the team, so everybody give a warm welcome to our new friend that we have been sorely needing. After securing an amazing encounter, we happily skip our way over to show our rival Sasuke, but I think he took offense to our happiness because he challenged us to a battle. The first thing he sends out is a Bulbasaur, and I instantly panic because it means he stole from Professor Oak and I'm worried about his safety. After KOing it with our newly evolved Birdman, he sends in Cyndaquil, and I panic even more because it means he's stopped by Professor Elm's lab again. Is there no end to his evil? After landing the KO with Kathy, he sends in Kadabra, who falls by way of Oko thanks to Laxus's headbutt, which only leaves his starter, Mankey. Since Birdman already took some damage, I decided to go the trolley route by sending in Soar and landed a Leech Seed. After our first Poison Powder misses, we do wind up getting hit with a critical hit on Karate Chop, but we do manage to land the second Poison Powder. From there, we send in our best girl Marissa, land a Confuse Ray, and from there we get a cool bit of footage as Mickey falls to my love for stall tactics, letting it destroy itself without ever landing a damage-dealing move. I feel like Sasuke was pretty mad that we flexed on him like that because he threw a kunai at the ground beneath her feet and forced us to fall to the lower level. While we were there, I couldn't remember if the lower level counted as a separate map in Burn Tower, so I skipped the possible encounter here. After healing up our Pokemon, we approach these nice kitty cats and offer them some head scratches and treats, but the first two run away because I only had dog treats with me. However, the third cat accepts my offering and even stops to tell me that the secret to freedom is Breloom before hopping away. Afterwards, the local furry wants us to explain why Suicune chose us instead of him, but we are the silent protagonists, so we ignore his request and move forward. Afterwards, we make our way to the club to see if we can get a lap dance, but we were challenged to a battle instead because it's not that kind of club. However, getting their experience points was my plan all along, so it works out in my favor. The first of all is this Vileplume to Birdman, and next up this War Turtle is taken care of by Static. While it started off easily enough, the very next Monogirl puts a Mewtwo on our screen. After a very careful moment of deliberation and checking our stats real quick, I decided to leave Kathy in to take on this behemoth. It first uses Disable, which does nothing, so we hit it with a Tail Whip. However, he hits a barrier the very next turn, and we miss with the Slam. Then the confusions begin, but we manage to land a Slam on this turn, and the very next turn when it's disabled does nothing again. However, when it finally does manage to land disabled properly, we get hit with another confusion on the turn we hit a Water Gun. From there, it's easy work for Laxus as he comes in, takes a pair of confusions, and finishes it with Headbutt. And just like that, the second Mewtwo of the run has officially been taken down in style. The next battles were pretty interesting too, when this Politoed fell to its own Perish Song, and the Pineco that yeeted itself off the screen with self-destruct. My best guess is neither Pokemon wanted the smoke after seeing us take down the almighty Mewtwo. From there, I take a moment to check our team's power points to see whether or not I can skip the Pokemon Center to save on screen recording time, after which we obtain Surf, teach it to Kathy, and make our way over to the Ecruteak Gym. While I had every intention of flooding the gym with Kathy's newly learned Surf, the first NPC had other plans because he hit us with a Blossom. While it falls easily to Birdman, Laxus does get hit with a poison the next round against his coughing, and from there it was a clean and easy sweep, knocking out this Dunsparce, Sentret, and Ekans. The next trainer falls easily as well, only throwing a Pidgey and Eradicator away, and the same goes for the third trainer's Wooper. Just when I thought this gym wasn't going to give me anything interesting, the fourth trainer did manage to give me a pretty interesting battle. They start off with a Butterfree who instantly lands a confusion status upon sending in Birdman, just to hit us with a Sleep Powder on the switch into Static and Supersonic on the switch back into Birdman. From there, I decided to go the extremely stubborn route by leaving Static in until he woke up to take care of this surprisingly annoying Butterfree. Next up, we are greeted with yet another Tyranitar, so we send Kathy back in to test out her newly learned Surf. While Tyranitar does manage to put the hurt on us with a critical hit, one more Surf is all we need to take it down. For the third and final Pokemon, the medium sends out a Lapras. Since Static had just learned Thunder Wave, we send him out, hit a Thunder Wave, hit a Supersonic, hit a Thunder Shock, watch Lapras hit itself with Confusion before finally knocking out with a Sonic Boom, leaving us with only Morty remaining. After that good bit of RNG we got with taking down Lapras, I was feeling very confident going into the battle with Morty, but that confidence was instantly crushed when the very first Pokemon he sent out was a Suicune. Having led with Static, we landed quick Thunder Wave to paralyze it before instantly taking him back out to send in our best girl Marissa, who lands a Confused Ray but also takes a costly Bubble Beam. From there, we send in Sora, but because I got some math wrong in my head and thought a crit would kill here, I panic switch over to Kathy, landing a Tail Whip and a Slam. From there, I switch over to Laxus, spam 1, 2, and 3 Amnesias before taking Suicune off the screen for good. From there, he sends in Krabby, so I send in Ivysaur, but I wind up making a costly misclick using Leech Seed instead of Vine Whip, so we take a huge Vice Grip. I correct the misclick the next turn and KO the Crab with a swift Vine Whip. From there, he sends in the second legendary of the battle, a Moltres, and it was about now I started to understand how Ash must have felt when he was battling Tobias. I panic switch over to Kathy, who manages to land a huge hit with Surf, but not before the 2 consecutive wing attacks took her down to the red. From there, it's easy pickings for Laxus, leaving us with only one Pokemon left between us and our 4th gym badge. For his final Pokemon, he sends in quite possibly the biggest threat this episode, a Dodrio. I instantly pivot over to Static and wind up making a huge mistake when I chose Thunder Shock instead of Thunder Wave, as I wasn't anticipating the 2 consecutive Fury attacks of all things to take away as much health as it did from Static. From there, we send in Laxus right back out into a Tri-Attack, and I realize right now we are in very dangerous territory. After a moment of deliberation, I send Marissa to neutralize the Tri-Attack just to be hit with Pursuit the very next turn. Although we did manage to land a Confused Ray, from there I switch over to Birdman, but sadly Dodrio broke through the confusion, causing us to lose our best girl Marissa. F's in the chat. Upon sending Birdman in, we managed to outspeed and land a Peck, but we also get some help from Marissa when Dodrio hits itself with Confusion. One more Peck and we get revenge from Marissa, our 4th gym badge, and raise the level cap to 30. Needless to say, I was extremely disappointed that we lost our only self-destruct counter that's actually kind of huge, but I had a feeling I'd probably lose her this run because this is only my 2nd time ever using a Mischievous. However, it still did sting losing her after how careful I've been up to this point. That being said, we have officially reached the end of the episode, so as always, I want to thank all of you absolute legends who made it to the end. As always, thank you for the support, and I'll see you in the next one, and I hope you have a wonderful day. This is Pixelated Pat, signing off.